Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Stacy with Crafty Dragon Creations, and it's Ostara. I can't believe we're this far into the year already. So we are going to be working on our Ostara folio. First I'm going to decorate my wheel here. Nothing special, just to play along. If you're new to this, please check out the video below about this collaboration I'm doing with Tracy at Lottie's Magic Attic. Get all the information and details. Please join our Facebook groups for freebies, and yeah, join us. This is a year-long collaboration, so you know, not a whole lot of stress and time constraints as long as you're done by December 31st. Okay, so let's talk about Ostara. So at its core, Ostara is the celebration of the vernal equinox, marking the official arrival of spring. So this is the spring equinox, for those that know all about that. By the way, this is my game piece, and I put some stickles on there just to kind of dress it up some. So yeah, it's, you know, the point of the perfect balance between night and day. This is the day when both are equal. And we're just kind of transitioning from the dark into the light. The meaning of Ostara centers on three universal concepts. One being balance, because the sun sits directly above the equator, the world experiences a brief moment of equal time. It represents a pause to find personal balance before the high energy of the winter months, or the warmer months, begin. The third core theme is renewal and growth. This is a time when spring happens and the dormancy of winter leaves us, and things begin to grow and bloom all around us. Everything wakes up, so to speak, and everything starts anew. Now, of course, this is in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're experiencing the exact opposite right now. But it's like the ultimate fresh start, kind of like nature's new year. So there's my game piece. And here I have my folio cut out and ready, and all of my stuff. So before I continue, I've already made one of the envelopes, and I lined it with tissue paper, and I thought that was really fun. So that's what I'm going to do with this other one. These are freebies from Tracy. So here is the other envelope. Gorgeous, gorgeous purples. So I'm going to line it with purple tissue paper here. as I continue, the third core theme of Ostara is potential. It symbolizes the shift from planning to doing. So maybe all throughout the winter, you know, I've been planning what to plant in the spring, or if you're on a farm, maybe getting your chicks ready, or chickens, you know, new baby animals, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's great potential for things to start happening. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle this up and then put it on. I shouldn't have cut this one out yet, but I thought of this idea after the fact, so but that's okay. So yeah, that's basically the premise of Ostara. The spring equinox and everything coming to life. Spring used to be my favorite season, but as I grew more and more in love with Halloween and the fall colors, I can't help myself. Fall is not my favorite. Spring would be my second favorite for sure, because everything is coming to life, you know. We've been through winter and cold and all the dead trees and dead grass, and so now everything is coming back to life. It's like Mother Earth's promise to us that things will continue. And this is why I should have not cut this out first, but it'll be okay. So let's talk about eggs. It is, of course, a tradition for those that celebrate Easter to decorate eggs, hide eggs, and that sort of thing. So I was kind of looking up some of the history of all that. And so before modern times, okay, I'm going to let this dry as I continue with my folio here. Before the modern calendar and modern, you know, industrial farming, chickens didn't lay eggs all year round. They do now because we can, you know, they have huge chicken farms and you can keep them warm and keep them going. But before all that, they didn't produce eggs all year round. Chickens are photosensitive, which means they stop laying eggs during the dark winter months. And okay, so I've just created my little spine here. So when the spring equinox arrived and days started to grow longer, chickens naturally began laying their eggs again. So that kind of created an abundance of eggs, because all of a sudden, you know, we have all the eggs again. They haven't created any, they haven't laid any all winter long. So now we have an abundance of eggs. And so what are we going to do with all these eggs? So that's when they started to hard boil them so that they would last longer. By the way, I glued my pockets to book page. Just kind of makes them a little sturdier. But sometimes the glue stick doesn't work very well, so I'm just gluing this down. Okay, so here's one pocket. Let me look around this. Okay, so our story. So there was an abundance of eggs. So we started to hard boil them to preserve them longer. Whoever was the first person to think of doing that, genius. And then to celebrate this abundance of eggs, they started to decorate them. So that's kind of where, you know, all of that came about. Decorating them and hiding them and all that is a celebration. So some ways to observe Ostara, or the spring equinox. One is obviously spring cleaning, which we all tend to get in the mood for. You know, all that dark winter, have to keep the windows shut, can really start to get you, right? So this is where we do our spring cleaning. So open your windows, let the fresh air in, let the bad negative energy out. You know, even if it's just for like 10 minutes. If you're in the Midwest, like I am, we tend to experience what's called false spring. So we get tricked into thinking that spring is here, and then suddenly we have a freeze. So like the day that I'm filming this, it's 77 degrees out. Today is March 10th. So yeah, it's 77 outside right now. By the time you see this video, it could be 30. Who knows? But our time for planting, our last freeze isn't until April 15th or something like that. So yeah, that's always fun. Because, you know, you get some warm weather like today, and you're like, oh, I can start planting flowers and getting my garden ready, which you could, but then you definitely have to take some extra care in keeping all of that alive. A lot of people start seedlings indoors or in greenhouses, which I would love to do, but I don't have a greenhouse or a decent place at the moment to start seedlings. But I am looking forward to having a garden. I want to plant some herbs and definitely tomatoes. Man, we can eat some tomatoes, I'm telling you. So anyway, yeah, spring cleaning, declutter, clean out a drawer, you know, even if you just clean out one drawer in your space. That helps. Something else you can do to observe Ostara is bring something that represents the outside inside. So you can get a new plant, a new house plant. You can actually repot it inside, so you kind of feel like, you know, you're actually planting something. They always have fresh flowers available at supermarkets and Walmart and that sort of thing. So get you some fun stuff and bring some of the outdoors indoors. I'm looking for this. Okay. So what I've done, if you can't see already, make sure that's okay. I've put my 2 pockets in my folio. You can put them on this side if you want, and what I'm doing on this side, you can put on this side. That's up to you. You can do whatever you like. Going to just try to fold that straight here. So this is like a little belly band. You could even put this pocket over here and put this little belly band thing on there, but they are the same color, so it might be counterproductive. Of course, you can always cover this. You know, if you don't like the pink, you can definitely cover it. Make it your own. Okay, so I'm gonna glue that right there. So yeah, bring the outside inside. Something else you can do for Ostara is obviously have a feast. I know a lot of people will have a big Easter feast and with the ham and all of that. But also specifically for Ostara, it's traditionally a thing to do is to eat egg-based dishes like a quiche or frittata or, you know, omelets. Of course, deviled eggs. Who doesn't love deviled eggs, right? But yeah, that's definitely a thing to do is celebrate with food, because we all tend to like to do that. In this kit, I do give you a little recipe card for some lavender shortbread cookies. I love shortbread cookies, and I've made them before. I've never used lavender in my cooking, so I do want to try this recipe, and hopefully I do before the next celebration, so I can tell you. For in bulk, which was back February 1st, I'd given you a recipe for call cannon, I think it was called, where it was, oh, this is coming off, where it was mashed potatoes that had onions and green onions and some greens mixed in it, and I did make that, and it was really good. The family enjoyed that for sure, so try that one out. But I do want to try the shortbread cookies and see how those taste. Like I said, I've never eaten lavender you know, in any cooking, so I would like to try that. So yeah, this little belly band can hold quite a bit. It's pretty thick. I've also given you some correspondences for Ostara. So these are things that you can, you know, set out or eat the foods, eggs, bread, cheese, spices. These are the different animals that correspond with Ostara. So pretty much Easter themed things would be the same for Ostara. Definitely decorate eggs. I'm gonna put that in there. So yeah, good springtime fun here. So these are 2 postcards that I've given you, and I glued the lines on the back. So we have those. We have a couple journaling cards. So we have those. I'm gonna put this in here. That goes in that other envelope. I gave you this envelope here, which I don't have anything in yet. I think, though, I meant for these to go in here. I did. So I'm gonna put these in there, and have a couple more journal cards so we can stuff those in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. This is kind of dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Get my scissors if I can find them. I always lose. There we go. Oh, way over here. Okay. So one more thing you can do for Ostara is grounding and observation. And what that means is to, you know, take a look outside and observe what's happening. Notice the changes of the season. Go look for those tiny little new sprouts that are coming up, especially like new grasses and dandelions and things like that. Notice the sunlight and where it's hitting now that we've had to spring forward here in the States. I don't know if everybody, I don't think everybody does that. But yeah, we have more light in the evening time now. But yeah, just kind of notice the changes that are happening around you. All the new little buds on the trees. That sort of thing. Okay, so there is my lined envelope. It's not as great as the other one because, like I said, I should have done it before I cut the envelope out, but it is perfectly okay. So now we're gonna put this together. I really like lining with the tissue paper. I think it gives it just enough extra little strength, but doesn't make it like super bulky. So I think that's great. There we go. And then I have this little piece that came with this envelope that I'm gonna put on there. But I also just want to add a little bit of, I think I'm gonna put some lace behind it. Yeah. So what are some things you guys are gonna do or have done in the past if you're familiar with this celebration? I always like to know what people are doing and get some ideas. That's cute. Okay. Something else you can do is to set some spring resolutions. You know, we all do it in the new year, but I kind of feel like this is actually a better time because, you know, New Year's, we've just come off all the holidays and we've done all this stuff, and now you want me to set resolutions and follow through with them. But yeah, you can make some spring resolutions, you know, write down things that you want to grow, either physically, you know, plants or whatever, or, you know, I would like to grow my business. I would like to grow my finances. I would like to grow better health. So these are some things that you can, you know, make as a resolution. All right. Oh, I need to glue this. So this one I decorated with the little embellishment that came with it and just put some of this burlap behind it. And then I put some that leaf trim on there. I thought that looked really pretty. This one I think I'm just gonna leave, but I like this. So I think that came out really cute. And then we have our card to put in here. The tissue paper does kind of make it a little difficult to pull this in and out, but that's okay. So then we can add, I'm gonna add one of these to that, so it kind of helps stuff that a little bit more, and because that is pretty loose. And I think I'm gonna put this one back here. And then we have these two cute little tags. So oops, I need to fix that. Get those in there. And then we can always decorate some more. I do have some more little embellishments. But yeah, here we go. I think I might go ahead and put one up here just so if there's nothing in there, you can see it. So I hope you guys will try some of the things out that I've suggested to honor the spring equinox and celebrate it, observe it. And I would love to hear what you do or eat or try or anything like that. I'm definitely going to be doing some eggs because my grandkids are currently living with me. So I will be doing that for sure. The parents are living here too, by the way. It's not just me and the kids, but oh no, that would not be happening. I love my grandkids, but whew, they're a lot. And my granddaughter is so much like me when I was her age. Cracks me up. Non-stop talking and energy, and wow. I've apologized to my mom a time or two since she's been born. I always got in trouble in school for talking. Oops, that's over the, I don't want it to go over the fold there. There we go. I could put one of these on here maybe. I think I'll just leave it. Stuff all this. I'm gonna go ahead and just like add these in the envelope. So if I want to use them later, I know where they are, if I remember. All right, guys. There we go. Our little Ostara folio to add to our collection as we go throughout the year. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you get some inspiration and maybe learned something new about Ostara and the spring equinox. All right, guys, again, information about this collaboration is listed down below, and please join our Facebook groups for freebies, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.